Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today's presentation looks at the Great Disappointment of 1844 and its aftermath. So, in this presentation, we're going to consider what happened in 1844 and just after 1844. That is to say, for those who believed in the coming of Christ in 1844, what happened to them? Did other people continue with what they believed in? We know that at that time, or prior to 1844, William Miller arose and started preaching about the coming of Christ in 1844. That is after studying the Bible, and his message was based on Daniel chapter 8, verse 14, which says that unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So William Miller thought that the Bible was talking about the second coming of Christ, when actually the event that was supposed to take place was the coming of Christ to his temple or the sanctuary in heaven, which point William Miller missed. And he went on to preach that message. He did the calculations, and he came to the conclusion that on 22nd October 1844, Jesus Christ was going to come. But then, though so many people believed in his message, that day came and Jesus did not show up. They waited and nothing happened. So that is what led to the great disappointment. There are some people who remained faithful. They went back to the Bible, studied the scriptures, and discovered that actually the event that was prophesied in the Bible had taken place. That is, Christ had entered the Holy of Holies. And according to the typical service of the Old Testament, that used to happen at the end of every year, or it used to happen once every year in the Old Testament dispensation. But then there was another ministration of the sanctuary in the Old Testament, which used to occur on a daily basis, where people used to bring animals every time they committed sin so that they may be forgiven of their sins. But then the yearly ministration was a closing work for the church, because in those days, the sanctuary used to be cleansed, and the sins were actually removed from the temple and placed on the god that was referred to as Azazel. And they were regarded as forever separated from the people. So that actually is the work that Christ began doing in 1844. That is to say, the cleansing of the sanctuary actually began in 1844. And that is the time that Christ entered the sanctuary. So this is what today's presentation is going to talk about, except we're mostly referring to the great disappointment itself and what happened immediately after that time. So may God bless you even as you continue listening to this presentation. Bye.